of from this angle, being a supportive, like as a global ally, trying to support queer communities in these areas, what the role of, you know, whether it's funding or support, like what does support look like? A lot of times when you think of, as somebody in the West, a lot of times when you think of supporting these communities, it comes in the form of a monetary value. You see, commercials, or you get ads online, or you get involved in the communities, and it's generally in that, from that side of things. But in what way, like, what role is that monetary support versus what you were just speaking to, like supporting the frameworks that are already there?
Yeah, well, I think funding organizations that are aligned with community activism, community initiatives is a great way to help because they're way underfunded.
Mm-hmm.
The bulk of the funding goes to multinational organizations and not much of those funds gets down to community-based organizations. Community-based organizations and initiatives are massively underfunded.
Mm-hmm.
So funding organizations that directly fund those initiatives is a great way to help. Mm-hmm. And I think just, from an advocacy awareness standpoint, understanding the plight of marginalized communities around the world, just having some interest, saying, okay, well, I can't open my lens to all of Africa, but I'm going to understand just what queer people in Kenya, queer refugees in Kenya are experiencing. Where are they from? Are they from Uganda? Where are they from? Sudan? Where are they from? And what did they leave? And why are they not going back? And what's their path to asylum? And I think just starting to understand and humanize the experience of these folks through podcasts or through news articles, and just starting to realize, if we love someone, if we care about a global community, we want to know about them. So totally getting that, we all have limited bandwidth, but just starting to include global community in your awareness. When I go to Starbucks, I'm thinking about the orphanage where I fed kids. I'm thinking about who has underwear. I'm thinking about who has food. I'm thinking about who has medicine. And I'm conscious when I'm making that purchase that those folks exist. They're included in my world. When my kids fed children in an orphanage in South Africa, when we would go to the ice cream parlor, they were cognizant of that, and they said, well, we really want to make sure that those kids have enough food, and we want to make sure that they have at least one set of clothes. And I was like, well, put your money where your mouth is. No ice cream parlors for 6 months, and we'll donate that money to that orphanage that you visited. So I think actually including the awareness and the knowledge of these communities in your daily lives can be an element that adds context and meaning to. Often our lives have unlimited resources. Like, we can order whatever we want from the restaurant. We can buy what we want at Whole Foods. We can go where we want in our car. But contexting, actually, maybe I want to allocate some of those resources to my global community. And what would that mean? And, I often tell the story of my child, Madison, who identifies as they. Madison, we would go to the food bank once a week and we would donate the kids' clothes. And Madison brought down, when she was 5, her favorite dress, their favorite dress. And I said, that's your favorite dress. Well, you probably don't want to donate that one, right? I mean, why don't you give some of your other clothes that don't fit you? And Madison said, it's my favorite dress. It'll be another little girl's favorite dress. And I think, it's important for us to give in a way that's meaningful for our lives. That to not see contribution to marginalized communities as change or trash or money that doesn't mean anything to us, but to give in a way that actually says you matter. If we had a relative that was facing cancer treatment or a medical emergency, we would be willing to take some pain for that gift. Are we willing to take that same pain, that same uncomfortability, that same giving up some of our luxuries for marginalized communities around the world? I think that's the question we have to ask ourselves. How deep is our commitment to equity? we willing to experience any amount of giving up comfort, giving up ice cream if you're an 8-year-old, you know, for the good of someone else, and to find the joy in that, and to find the balance in that, find the rightness in that.
Oh, it's beautiful. I really like to hear from, just your personal experiences, and just, you really walk the talk, and like passing that off to your kids and the next generation, and really showing them on the ground, these experiences, and how the choices in their daily life and what they're willing to sacrifice to make a difference. I mean, I think that's, yeah, it's like setting the best example, because they always say, like, the next generation obviously right now is really important, but looking to the future as well. I think that's really beautiful, really powerful, and it's very apparent that activism is, it plays a key role in your everyday life and your everyday experience. And oh, I just love that.